EnergySavers.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
Securities and advisory services offered through Royal Alliance Associates, Inc., member FINRA SIPC, and a registered investment advisor. Insurance offered through the Monteverde Group, LLC, not affiliated with Royal Alliance. The views expressed are not necessarily the opinion of WWVA Radio or iHeartMedia and should not be construed directly or indirectly as an offer to buy or sell any securities mentioned herein. Investing is subject to risk, including loss of principal invested. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. No strategy can assure a profit nor protect against loss. Please note that individual situations can vary. Therefore, the information should be relied upon when coordinated with individual professional advice.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Steve Major, and this is Dollars and Cents. I'm joined today by Jason Haswell, who is the managing director of the Monteverde Group, which, by the way, is located in the Wagner Building, 2001 Main Street, Suite 402, of course, here in Wheeling, West Virginia. Telephone number is 304-905-0641. And later on, we'll give you that address, that phone number again. Jason, good morning.
Good morning, Steve.
Are you ready?
I am. I guess it's hello world for us today, right?
You know, I'm sure there are people who have perhaps seen your commercials on television. They've seen the billboard. They've seen the ads in the paper. Monteverde Group, and they're going, I'm not sure what the Monteverde Group is all about. Well, I want to know everything in the world about the Monteverde Group.
Well, that's why we're here today, to kind of give everybody a little bit of an idea of what we do and how we can help people. Monteverde Group, we are an investment management, a wealth management, a financial planning, an insurance firm. We provide services in all financial aspects to people in the area. We have offices here in Wheeling, as you just mentioned. We have an office in downtown Pittsburgh. We have an office in Bonita Springs, Florida. Also, so we provide services to clients all over basically the East Coast and the country, to be completely honest. So, but we do a number of different things. We have a relatively large team of about 23 different people that help provide it in those three offices. I have 3 partners that are based out of our Pittsburgh office. But we've been doing, I myself have been in the industry for 22 years. Grew up here in the Ohio Valley, went to John Marshall High School, went to Bethany College, have lived here my entire life. So I love the Valley and don't ever plan to go. And we love what we do to provide the local people of the Valley with financial advice and financial service.
Sometimes I think people are under the impression that, gee, that's something way above me. I don't know how to get into that. Should I give them a call, or what am I going to expect when I do call them?
Sure.
I think there's a hesitancy there, isn't there?
I completely agree with you, yes. And what we want to do is, and what I have taken pride in the 22 years that I've done this, is we want to take complex financial ideas and financial plans and asset allocation plans, whatever they may be, and we want to make sure that we are talking to our clients in a way that they can understand it. We'll look at the technical side, and we'll break it down so that you understand, how it benefits you, what we can do to benefit you, and answers to any question that you may have. I also take pride, and I like to meet people in person. Bring them in the office or come to their home and talk to them. Sort of a handshake. And my grandfather always liked to do a good handshake and look somebody in the eye, and that's kind of the way we like to do business. But there's no question too small. Everybody has different goals, objectives, things that they're trying to achieve in their life, whether it be, financially, or sending their kids to school, or retiring, or purchasing a home, or, maybe locally. We've seen a lot lately of the oil and gas side. We are happy to answer any question and provide advice. If we don't know the answer, we will make sure we find that answer and get you, a solution to your problem.
I think trust is a very and I'm fighting a little bit of a throat problem here, but anyhow, I think people, when they come to you, have to trust you. And to me, because people say, how do I know this guy's leading me down the right path? How do I know that he's doing the right thing for me? How do you instill that trust into somebody?
Well, I think you got to prove yourself. I mean, I think if you talk, like I said, if you meet with somebody and you show them that you care about not just their portfolio or their financial needs, but you care about them and their family. The goal here is to provide money so that you are comfortable for your family, for your children, for your grandchildren. For yourself in retirement, the goal is that. It's not just about the financial plan, it's what it provides going forward. And I think, again, if you look somebody in the eye and shake their hand and then, basically sit down with them over a period of time and make a plan and execute that plan and then service the client. I think something we've lost in the world today is service. And you probably, you're out in the world, you see what I'm talking about. And, we try to follow up. If you give us a phone call, we're going to call you back, that day. If not that day, it'll be the next morning. And, that's some big pet peeve of mine is unreturned phone calls. So we're always going to call you back. We see all our clients in person. We have quarterly meetings set up with everybody. So we want to sit down with you and listen to what's going on in your life. And the reason I do the meetings every quarter is life changes. Maybe something's changed. Maybe there's been a death in the family. Maybe there's been a divorce. Maybe there's been a change with a child going to college. So we like to meet with people and talk to them about what's going on in their lives because naturally it may change the plan that we've started. We may need to make some adjustments to that. So we try to provide, very good service. My staff here in Wheeling, I have 3 girls that work in my office here. They do a wonderful job. My assistant has been with me for 17 years. And she is exceptional at her job. So we try to provide, the best service we possibly can. Customer
service is undoubtedly, to me, not only from your business, any business. I don't care if you walk into a convenience store. You want to be treated with respect. You want to act. My thing is I walk in and I want somebody to look at me and act like they really want to wait on me, want to take care of me. Same thing if I walk into your office. I want to feel that Jason really wants to help me. He wants to wait on me.
Well, and the thing that I've told my staff, for years is, we provide some of the most intimate advice they're going to get. I mean, we're talking about their financial future. They're going to share things with you that they may not share with anybody else, even their family members. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's certain people that come in that are very private about what they do. We provide full confidentiality. That is a big thing of mine that we're gonna make sure that your information, if you give it to us, it stays with us. And we are going to, sit and listen to what you say and provide answers. Now, some of those answers sometimes may not be exactly what you want to hear. But our job is to provide the best financial advice possible and to provide you with what we think is the best way to do things. And sometimes people don't want to make certain hard decisions. But I'm going to give you that advice. In the end, it's the client's decision how their money goes and what they want to do.
What you're basically saying, you're telling the client not so much what they want to hear, but what they need to hear.
That's exactly correct. Yeah. And that's hard to do sometimes.
Sure it is.
But I think in order to do our job properly, we have to do that. We have to be that advocate for, what they need financially and what we think the best move for them to make for their, their ongoing betterment and what their goal or objective may be.
You talked about your clients, and obviously you automatically assume you're talking about adults coming in, mom, dad, grandparents. How early should one start? How early should one start considering maybe investing, maybe coming to a person like you saying, okay, I'm only in, the parent says, okay, my child's only in middle school, but he or she will be going to high school, then they're going to be off to college. How soon should you start planning?
I mean, the one thing I'll say with kids especially, the earlier the better, because as everyone knows who has small children or kids getting ready to go to school or kids that are in college, it is very expensive. And it gets more and more expensive every day. I mean, I've seen a few studies that show, in the next 10 years, the average college cost is going to be upwards of $200,000 over a 4-year period. In order to save an amount of money like that, you have to start as early as you possibly can. So, you start with putting money away for the child. It used to be, you remember back, Steve, I'm sure you had this in your family. My grandma and my grandpa always bought me savings bonds, and birthdays and holidays. Right. And that was a way to put some money away but now there's a lot of different ways you can save for college, and it's tax deferred or non-taxable, and there's some great advantages there that you can do for the kids. So the earlier the better, because it's all about the time value of money. If you invest that money early and you put money in on a consistent basis, you're going to be able to save a nest egg that's a little bit larger.
Is it advisable for the child to come in with a parent so that they understand what the parents are trying to do for them?
I would say in most cases, probably no.
Okay.
The number one, a lot of people don't realize that minors, they have to have a custodian on that. So they cannot invest until they're of age.
Right.
But a lot of times the parents want to manage this, and the kid's idea of what that money should go to is maybe a bit different than what mom and dad think that should go to.
I understand.
So, but I have had many clients, and I think this is a good idea. When they do become of college age, they discuss this with their kids and how this money is going to be spent, because it teaches the kids. And I think one thing you can do, you may not want to tell them about all the intricacies of how much money's there, but you may want to tell them what you're doing and why.
Sure.
To help one of the things I think we've lost, and I think we teach at classes in a lot of things in high school, but I think it would be great to have some things on how to manage your money, how to invest in a portfolio, how to balance your checkbook, because it seems that's a bit lost today. There's not a lot of that out there. It would give some kids some better financial sense going into those years, so they don't run up this massive credit card debt, and plan how you're going to buy a house, and how does it work to get an auto loan and a mortgage. So,
I had a situation where I knew a person who gave her child a credit card he bought gas with, and he thought that automatically paid for the gas, that she didn't have to pay off the credit card.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Oh, that would be wonderful. All right, we've got to take a break. And by the way, this is a call-in program, and I notice we have a caller waiting online we'll get to right after the break, so stay with us. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
It was 1989, my thoughts were short, my hair was long, caught somewhere between a boy and man.
Sometimes being great at what you do requires meticulous attention to detail. It's about the nurturing of a mission. It's about getting the job done. At the Monteverde Group, we work like you do. Our approach to wealth management is in the finer points. The precise execution that can only come from advisors who listen, talk, and plan with your future in mind. The Monteverde Group, helping clients grow, manage, and preserve wealth.
This report is brought to you by Dell.
News Radio 1170 WWVA. Severe Weather Team 9 forecast.
Gloomy conditions kick off Labor Day weekend with clouds, a breeze, and cool conditions. High of 64. On and off rain showers today with a steadier rain later this afternoon and into your evening hours. Rain showers taper off Sunday morning with some sunshine mixing back in by the afternoon with a high of 73. I'm Severe Weather Team 9 meteorologist Stephanie Allison.
Get up to 40% off with the Dell Labor Day sale. Shop all the tech you need, including a 55-inch Sony HD Smart TV and the latest Dell PCs with Intel Core processors. Get free shipping on everything by visiting Dell.com/Labor Day or call 800-BUY-DELL.
Refreshing your news feed at the top and bottom of the hour and posting opinions the rest of the time. News Radio 1170 WWVA.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Steve Major. I'm joined by Jason Haswell, Managing Director of the Monteverde Group here in Wheeling. We promised that this is a call-in show, and if you have a question for Jason, all you have to do, let me give you the number, 1-800-624-1170. 1-800-624-1170. And I noticed that Scott is on the line and is called in, so let's hear from Scott. Good morning, Scott.
Yes, good morning, gentlemen. On September 15th, 2008, almost 9 years ago, and another 2 weeks from now, I was swindled out of $190,000 when Lehman Brothers was deliberately destroyed by Richard Fuld. He was the disgraced ex-CEO of Lehman Brothers, and he wiped out many other investors. The point I'm making is that I hear you talking about Wall Street and everything. I don't trust Wall Street. My faith in Wall Street has been destroyed because the way I see it, Wall Street is run by greedy and evil international Jewish Wall Street bankers that have taken over and have destroyed the trust. They've turned it into a casino, and it's once you've gotten your money stolen from you, it's next to impossible to establish any trust back on Wall Street.
Yeah, I mean, Scott, I completely understand what you're saying. Excuse me. I went through the same thing with a lot of my clients, and I know a lot of people expressed that opinion. I mean, there's been some things that happened in the financial crisis that I think all of us were, very disappointed with. I don't think it was necessarily handled in the proper way. And I have sympathy for anybody who had a situation like yours. I think, you don't want to throw any, one basically assumption, I guess, that everybody's evil or everybody's bad. There's always going to be some people out there that aren't, above board or doing things the proper way. And I think, you penalize yourself by not taking advantage of maybe some opportunities out there that aren't necessarily either, involved with those people. And I know some people think the game is rigged, so to speak, but I think if you do things the right way and are careful about what you do, I think you can sort of navigate those things and do well for yourself. But, I tend to agree with you. There have been some people that did some things that were not above board, and unfortunately that happens in all industries.
Scott, let me ask you a fast question.
Sure,
the market's at 22,000 right now. Do you see? Maybe I'm not an expert like you, but is it safe to say that the market could drop a 5,000 point drop and could cause another crash like 2008?
Well, the one thing I'll say to you there is I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't tell you what the market's going to do. And I think anybody who makes assumptions on what the market's going to do, and especially in the short term, long term, we know where the market's going to be. Over a long period of time, the market's done well. There's been bad years. There's been things happen that aren't good. There's been years that have been tough. But if you look at what the market's done over a long period of time, you've made a decent return there and grown your asset if you did things the correct way. If you chase speculation and do things that are risky, if you take that risk, you're taking, you have the potential for that loss. Could it go down that much? Yes. Could it go up that much? Yes. But if you plan and you sit down with somebody like us and make a plan and make an asset allocation that meets your risk, meets your objective of growth, and monitor that over a period of time, I think, anybody can do well. I think you just have to, be diligent about that and manage things the proper way. But yeah, could it go down? Sure. And we're at all-time highs in the market, and that's great. But yeah, we could go down, but we could, of course, I've heard this for the last couple of years, the market's moved forward. So it could go either way. But I think the key here and what we want to provide is planning.
Scott, I'm just curious, now that you've kind of lost interest in trust, so to speak, without specifics, what direction have you taken since then?
I still buy some municipal bonds, in municipalities.
Sure.
And I buy gold, and I would like to go back in the market, but it's very bitter for me. Of course, it can go up. I never thought, I want to leave it with a thought, no one in their right mind would ever think that Lehman Brothers would go under. Yeah. It's like saying, tomorrow General Motors is going to go out of business, or Ford Motors is going to go out of business. The average person would say you're nuts. Yeah. So the point I'm making, gentlemen, if Lehman Brothers could go under, any giant corporation could go under.
Don't disagree with you, Scott. You look at what's happened with, you got Lehman. You could throw some others in there. How about Enron or WorldCom? Or there's been a number of issues over the years with any of those. So, yes, that could happen. But like I said, that's why you try and plan and monitor these things, and we try and be diligent about that with our clients. I think, again, you just got to have a relationship with the person you deal with. I think if you do and you can look them in the eye and have that discussion, I think it makes things much better. And I completely understand where you are, but like I said, municipals are a great investment, and gold is in some instances as a hedge in a portfolio. But like I said, I think if you sat down with somebody, whether it's me or someone else, it doesn't matter. You just got to make sure you have that trust level, my friend.
Can you explain, and if you don't have an, I'll listen on the radio, can you explain derivatives, because I find them very confusing. What is it? What's derivatives?
Well, I can't really explain on this show. Derivatives, I would be happy to talk. And anytime we give specific investment advice, we would prefer to do that.
I understand.
And so what I'll tell you is Steve has given our number, 304-905-0641. Call me at the office. If you want to call me next week, that's fine. I will be happy to go over anything with you. But derivatives are very complex, have caused several, and they have caused several issues, as you well know, in the market. But Scott, give me a call. I would be happy to review anything with you, my friend.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks for your call,
Thanks for
Scott.
the call. Very, very much.
All right. Well, we've got Joe on the line, so let's see what Joe has to say. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, guys. I just had a question for Jason. I'm getting ready to probably come into some revenue from some gas wells and so on and so forth on some of my properties. And I was just wondering, Jason, is that something I could give you a call about to come in and talk about that dealing with that whole situation? Because I'm not real adverse at it, and quite frankly, dealing with the companies, I want to make sure I make some right calls and right decisions on that. I'll hang up and go ahead and listen to you.
Okay. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate the question. We are dealing right now in the area with, the oil and gas has just boomed here, and people, we have a lot of people who have not had large lump sums of money in their life and are coming into them now. And the thing that I would tell anyone is first and foremost, when you begin the lease process with the company that whoever it is that you're dealing with, there's a bunch of them out there, is hire an attorney to help you negotiate that lease. They are very complex. There's a lot of moving parts. They don't tend to put in those initial contracts things that are advantageous for you. They tend to do things that are a little more advantageous for them. So I would definitely contact an attorney and have them do the initial lease negotiation with you. Yes, you'll spend a bit of money, but it will save you more in the future. I've seen it happen time and again. So that would be my first piece of advice. We sit down with people, and sort of what we do, if we can get someone to come in at the beginning of their process, we sort of build a team that helps you with that oil and gas lease. And we bring in an attorney to help you negotiate. Once you get it done and figure out what money you're going to get, and you get the lump sums or the monthly income or whatever it may be, however the process may work, we then bring in an accountant. And we sort of quarterback the thing and make sure everybody's involved. We sit down with you, with the attorney, and with the accountant. And the big thing with the accountant, a lot of people don't realize when they bring these lump sums of money in, they owe the tax man pretty much immediately. So, and a lot of that money is going to go to taxes. So we want to make sure you're setting aside enough to pay those taxes and paying your quarterlies. The accountant can give you advice on that. Once we do that, we make sure we have money set aside for taxes. We take the rest of the money, and we would sit down and work with you on a portfolio designed and allocated according to your risk and reward and goals and objectives. So it's sort of a three-pronged process, as I just spoke about. But we love to help people with the oil and gas side. We love to provide advice there. Like I said, we work with several attorneys. We work with several accountants that we bring them in and help them with the process. So if you're in the beginning of this process, contact us and we can help put a team together that will get you through the entire process. Or if it's at the end and you've gotten the money, we will help you plan, for the taxes and help you plan for the future with, once you receive that money, we also want to sit down and do, a financial plan and an estate plan for you to make sure that money is protected for, whatever you want it for. Do you need it for college for your kids? Do you want it for retirement? Do you want it to provide income for your family going on and on over the years? There's a number of different things. We sit down and we can help you do an estate plan in order to make sure that money's protected not just now, but 50 years from now. So there's a number of different ways we can help you with this. And whether it's the beginning of the process or you've already received the money, we can provide you with a team to give you the advice that you need going forward.
Yeah, it's sort of like, the old cliche, don't spend money that you don't have or before you have it. Yeah.
We've seen, Steve, some people that didn't realize that the taxes were due. and they thought the money wasn't taxed because it was on land they already owned.
Right.
And they either pay off their home or do a number of things, and then they come back later and the tax man says, hey, you owe me X, Y, or Z, and then they have to put a second on their house now to pay the tax man off. Well, if we can address that early enough, then that problem doesn't arise.
Doesn't exist.
Exactly right.
All right. Again, it's the Monteverde Group at the Wagner Building, 2001 Main Street, Suite 402, of course, here in Wheeling, West Virginia. Now, their number is 304-905-0641. I think it's going to be too late to take a call now for the rest of the show. So, yeah, short time. But next week, if you'll join us, I'll give you the number. You might want to write it down and give Jason a call. It will be 1-800-624-1170. Most folks are aware of the 1170 number. So, Jason, how do you feel about your first show?
It's great. I love working with you, Steve.
Thank you.
I've known you for such a long time. And
now, don't tell them how long. Then you'll tell everybody how old I am.
That's true. 29.
Yeah,
Steve,
right.
Steve is 29.
Yeah.
But no, it's great to work with you. It's an honor to have you working with me here on the show. We look forward in the coming weeks to provide the advice.
Yeah, it's something that really is it can be very beneficial if folks just simply take advantage of it. And as you said, whether it's with your investment firm or someone else, pay attention and ask questions and make sure you get the right answers, It's just so important.
It is. And the longer you hesitate, the more of a problem you could have, and the thing I would say, if you have a question, if there's something, a lot of people don't realize, we work with people even on their 401ks where they can come in and we'll help them provide some advice for them on things like that, and that's the biggest investment a lot of people have outside of their home. So
yeah,
we're happy to help in any aspect. Don't hesitate. It's free to call me.
Okay. I think we have about a minute left. I cannot let this go by. Tomorrow night, Sunday night, 7:30.
Yes, sir.
In Landover, Maryland. Because I know what a big Mountaineer fan you are, as am I.
Yes, sir.
Against the Virginia Tech Hokies.
Yes, sir. Well, I think it's going to be a great game. I'm glad to see them back on the schedule.
Yes, I am.
And I'm going to go ahead and say Mountaineers 21-20.
Wow. Okay, I was going to go 21-17.
I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
Mountaineers, of course.
Of course.
You're like me. We're not going to bet against the Mountaineers.
Never.
However, let's face it, Virginia Tech is an exceptional opponent, and this should be, hopefully, an extremely good game.
Great football game, and again, great to have them back on the schedule.
All right. That's going to wrap up this week's edition. See you next Saturday at 10 o'clock. Don't forget that number to call in. Jason would love to answer all your questions. Again, another segment Saturday, 10 to 10:30, Dollars and Cents. See you then.